The sky had turned the color of dying embers. Once blue heavens were now choked by black ash, swirling in a storm that never ended. The ancient kingdom of Ethelon, the jewel of the eastern realms, stood on the very edge of annihilation. In the heart of the world, the rift had opened. Some said the gods had grown tired of mankind's arrogance. Others whispered that the Iron Magi had failed to contain their forbidden experiments. But the truth no longer mattered. From the rift poured beasts of plague fire, creatures twisted beyond nature, burning forests, leveling villages, and leaving behind wastelands of dust and bone. Only a handful of warriors remained. The Knights of the Ashen Crown, sworn defenders of Ethelon, the last hope in a world already collapsing. Sir Aldrin of Valar stood on the shattered battlements of Ember Keep, his crimson cape whipping violently in the toxic wind. His armor, dented and blackened with soot, no longer gleamed as it once did. But his eyes burned with unbroken resolve. Below him, the once mighty capital lay in ruins. Towers cracked open like eggshells, streets covered in ash. Silence where laughter once lived. Behind him approached three figures: Seraphine, the Dawnblade, the last paladin of the Solar Order, her golden hair dimmed by soot; Garrick Stoneborn, a giant of a man, wielding a warhammer forged from fallen meteor iron; and Lyria of the Vale, a mage with silver tattoos glowing faintly, marks of eldritch power few dared to wield. Garrick's voice was a low rumble. "We ride at dusk." Aldrin turned, his gaze sweeping over his comrades. "No," he replied, his voice firm. "We ride now. The rift grows, and if we fail tonight, the world ends with us." They clasped hands, a silent, final oath made among the ruins of their world. Their journey led them across the Deadlands, once fertile grasslands, now scorched into black deserts. Ash fell like snow, coating their horses. The air tasted of iron and rot. From the shadows crawled creatures of nightmare, blight wolves with exposed rib bones, blind wyverns dripping molten venom, and shardlings humanoids carved from obsidian. The knights battled through them, their swords flashing red in the dim light. Seraphine's radiant blade burned with holy fire, cutting through darkness like a comet. Garrick crushed fiends into dust with thunderous blows. Lyria summoned storms of violet energy that tore the beasts apart molecule by molecule. But each battle left them more exhausted as they camped near a fallen monolith. Aldrin finally voiced the fear they all shared. "Can we truly close the rift?" Lyria's eyes glimmered with a fear he had never seen from her before. "The magic required, it demands a sacrifice. A life, perhaps more than one." A heavy silence settled over the group. Aldrin looked to the horizon, where a blood-red glow pulsed in the distance. "Then let it be mine." Seraphine's voice trembled. "Do not speak of death. Not yet." But Aldrin knew. Fate had already chosen. The rift towered like a wound in the welder. Massive vertical gash of swirling scarlet light, anchored by the ancient fortress of Blackspire. The once proud citadel now floated, fragmented, held aloft by dark energies, surrounded by hundreds of plague fire demons. The knights charged. The battle was thunder and flame. Aldrin cut through demon after demon, his sword shattering carapaces of burning bone. Seraphim unleashed solar bursts that incinerated hordes instantly. Garrick's hammer collapsed an entire cliff, burying dozens of beasts beneath tons of stone. Lyria summoned a cyclone of arcane power that ripped demons apart in spirals of glowing dust. Yet the rift only grew brighter, hungrier. Inside Black Spire, the air twisted like liquid fire. At the center floated a crystal monolith, the heart of the rift pulsating with the power to unmake reality itself. Lyria's voice was strained. "This is it. If we destroy the heart, the rift collapses." Seraphim whispered the cost, but only if someone channels their life force into it. Aldrin stepped forward without hesitation. "I will do it," Garrick roared in protest. "No, we end this together." Aldrin smiled sadly. "A kingdom needs legends. Let this be mine." Before they could stop him, he grabbed the heart. White light exploded. The heart screamed with 1,000 voices. Aldrin felt his soul unraveling, threads of his existence pulled away like silk in a storm. But he held on. Demons surged into the chamber. Seraphim stood over Aldrin, shielding him with blinding holy light. Garrick became a wall of fury, crushing any demon that broke through her barrier. Lyria chanted an incantation so powerful the entire fortress trembled. The rift screamed. Cracks of pure energy split the sky. Aldrin's vision blurred, his body turning to ash. But he held the heart until his very last breath. And with a thunderous explosion, the rift shattered. Silence fell. Seraphim knelt on the cracked stone, tears cutting clean streaks through the ash on her face. Garrick placed Aldrin's broken sword in the ground, a makeshift grave marker for a fallen hero. Lyria, exhausted and trembling, whispered a final spell to seal the wound in their world forever. When the sun rose for the first time in years, Zit's light filtered through clean air. A new dawn, a world saved, all because of one night. Sir Aldrin of Velar, the last knight of the Ashen Crown. Thank you for joining me on this epic journey. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from realms of fantasy and adventure. I'll see you in the next one.